afternoon to all. I am Kushik, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechatronics, welcoming you all for AICT sponsored 2-week online faculty development program on fostering ethics, moral values, and character development in technical education. It's my honor to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Rashekar P. Mandi, an eminent personality, currently a director, School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Reva University, holds doctorate from NITK Surathkal in the area of power and energy and holds MTech degree with third rank in Energy System Engineering from B.V. Bhumreddy College of Engineering and Technology, Hubli of Vishweshwara Technological University, Belgavi. He is a certified energy auditor from Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Government of India. Sir is appointed as chairman for Expert Appraisal Committee from Industry 3 by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. He has 5 years of teaching experience prior to venturing into the field of academia. He had worked in Central Power Research Institute, a premier research institute under the Ministry of Power, Government of India for more than 26 years in the area of renewable energy system, solar PV testing, power system simulation, power distribution system strengthening, and many more. He has undergone the training on testing of LED lighting systems as per LM, IEC, and BIS standards using highly sophisticated integrating sphere at Lab Sphere Incorporation, North Sutton, Boston, USA during Jan 2012. He had got training in upgrading the technical ability for Photometric Testing Institute for India during February 2014 at Osaka, Japan, organized by Overseas Human Resource and Industry Development Association, Japan government. Organized by Overseas Human Resource. Also visited all the photometric testing laboratory during that visit. Again, he had got training in testing of lighting systems using full automated gonio-photometer for lamp size of up to 4 feet length at Verification Service Incorporation, Newton, Iowa, USA during November 2014. He is a member of Confidential of Indian Institute Task Force Committee for Power and Infrastructure in Karnataka. He is a senior member of IEEE. He is former chairman of Society for Energy Efficiency and Management Karnataka chapter. He was a member of several BIS committees for making BIS standards in the area of electric lamps, electric fans, solar PV, batteries, electrical appliances, many more. He was also a member of fixing of star label for LED lamps and electrical appliances for Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Government of India. He was as a nodal officer in accelerated power development and reformance programming. He had delivered more than 185 specialized expert lectures at various reputed organizations. His research interests includes smart grid, microgrid, LVDC, hybrid power system, renewable energy systems, energy conservation, strengthening of electric distribution system, electrical safety, power quality, LED lighting systems, many more. Presently, he is guiding 8 PhD research scholars, guided 20 MTech projects and 25 BTech projects. He had published 8 patents, written 3 book chapters on energy conservation in thermal power plants, and 2 book chapters in distributed power system generation. He has published more than 165 technical papers in international and Indian journals, conferences, and seminars in the field of energy conservation, power quality, LED lighting system, and renewable energy system. Sir, we are very happy to have you for this FTP session. Session over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the management of SVC for giving me an opportunity to share my experience. Of course, it is a different topic altogether, okay, but not a technical one. I think it is only the ethical practices in doing research. Okay, I have got some ideas. I thought I can share with you. How far it will be useful for you people, I don't know. But anyhow, I will try to this one. And being an afternoon session, I think it is very difficult to maintain. Okay, that's what. Let it be a interactive session, because since it is a non-technical and then only a theoretical presentation. Okay, I hope you can interact in between, and then you can ask questions. Let us make it as a more interactive session. Okay, with this, uh, shall I start? Now I will share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Your PPT is shared, sir. It's
Shared.
visible, sir. Ah, yes, sir. It's visible now.
I am unable to see it.
Ah,
What
yes,
I
sir.
have to do?
Yeah, but you can't see that. Your face and your PPT is visible, sir. Not an issue.
Shall I go to my screen and then I can start?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay now?
Ah, yes, sir. It's coming, sir. It's visible.
It's visible now?
Yes, sir. Visible now.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon once again to all of you. It is the ethics in research. Okay. Now, what is ethics in research and why is it important? Okay. Let us discuss on this. Now, ethics, as you know, at its simplest, ethic is a system of moral principles, because many times what happens, because of the pressure from the management and because of the pressure from the various reasons, always we want to do something, and then we want to publish and then get the name and then get the degree, all those things, we will be under pressure. That's what we do. Actually, many times we forget about these moral principles. Okay, that we have to be in this one. They affect how people make decisions and lead their lives. Okay, then ethics is also concerned with what is good for individuals and society, because many times what happens, this ethics may be good for me but may not be as good as for me to others. Okay, that way many times it happens, because and judging that is very difficult. That's what it will vary from individual to society, and also described as moral philosophy. It is a moral philosophy. Then ethics is the disciplined study. What we can say, ethics is the disciplined study or morality. Many times, what happens, uh, we shortcut the many of the things. Okay, during that time, we will forget about this morality and all, because of the urgency or because of the busyness. Many times we try to shortcut. Okay, during that time, we may forget this morality. Okay, morality asks the questions: what should one's behavior? Okay, this is what the ethics this one. And while doing the ethics, we have to see that how to live a good life. Okay, that is very important. Okay, how we have to lead a good life. Okay, then our rights and responsibilities. Okay, these things are also important under this ethics. Okay, our rights, because we should not compromise on our rights and our responsibilities also. Okay, the language of right and wrong, this is also important. This, during the ethics, is very important. That is the language of right and wrong. What is right and what is wrong? Many times we may slip up many things like this. Then moral decisions, okay, in that what is good and what is bad. Okay, these are all the things we have to cover. We have to keep it in our mind while doing the this ethics, to consider the ethics. Okay, we will see some of the things. Basically, there are two types of ethics. What we say, that is, one is descriptive ethics, and other one is prescriptive ethics. That is, descriptive ethics is what the culture or the society believe is morally correct. Means what the society feels that morally it is correct, but may not be suiting to us. Okay, but that is descriptive. It the society says whatever the culture or whatever the this one ethics, given by this society. Then prescriptive ethic is how should I behave as a researcher? Means how, what are all the qualities I have to adopt? What are all the procedures I have to follow? Okay, these are prescriptive ethics. That is, how should I behave as a researcher and what character traits should I cultivate? Okay, yeah. Why is this so important? While doing the research, ethics is very, very important. Okay, many times we may get into trouble also while doing this. Any of that we will just see later. Then another two types of decision making, that is in the ethics, two types of ethical decision making. One is a deductive, okay, or we can call it as a principle based reasoning. Principle based reasoning in the sense that is, it is having a principled and then it is a planned this. And other one is inductive, or we can say it is a case based reasoning. Inductive in the sense it depends on the case to case basis. Okay, now we will see that is deductive or principle based reasoning. In this, we start with the ethical theory. Initially, we start with some ethical theory, and then we will have continue with a specific principles. Okay, some principles will be there. Okay, then develop rules. We have to develop rules and then make judgments. One example, actually it is taken here, that is ethical theory, principle, rules, judgment. Like this one, you see what we are facing with the cross border terrorism, all those things, in that what we do, we have some ethical theory, what we showed this one, humanity consideration we have to give. Then we have to see our principles regarding the terrorist and this one. Then rules, okay. Then judgment. Then finally, whether these are the decisions, whether we have to go for peace or violence or war. These are the three things we have to decide. Similarly, in our research also, in this we will make a some ethical theory first we will make. Means I want to do research in this particular area, then we will continue with some specific principles. We go for some specific principles, then we will start doing literature survey, and then we do this one, we collect the informations. Many times what happens that whatever the informations we collect, based on that we make some rules. We make some rules. Okay, I have to do this first, some experimental setups or some results or maybe some data collections, all those things, and then afterwards I will make a judgment. Means that is, we see ethically. Okay, that is the deductive or principle based reasoning. Another one is that is what another thing is a case based reasoning, that is a inductive. Inductive in the sense it is induced by other cases and all, because in this case what happens, the same principle may not apply for different cases. Okay, that's what case to case basis we have to do it. Okay, that is first is decisions we have to make precedent, then look back at those decisions and combine them in order to make a judgment. Because many times what happens, we make some decisions, okay, that may not work also. What we have to do, we have to go back, then that particular case, this one, then again we have to make a judgment, okay, that reflect back on rules, then rule reflect on our principles, Okay, then principle reflects back to the ethical theory. These are the things. Okay, it is a case based reasoning. Okay, yeah, now we will see ethics and success, how they are related. Generally the society, what they expect, that is unethical behavior is incorrect or unacceptable, because society never accept this unethical behavior. Okay, then social behavior shapes some of our ethical standards. Many times what happens, even though we are following some unethical practices, when we mingle with the society, and many times we are going to be influenced by this society to shape our this one behavior to go towards the ethical practices. Okay, that is what the society, it will have an impact on us, and then society what it requires. Then another this one is ethics and success. Okay, they have to go uh, one another. That is, are not a crossroads but assumed to be. But they are not a crossroads, but they are look like a crossroads. And one more is a underlying danger. That is because many times what happens, success might drive ethics out. For some people, especially some politicians and some this one, people, you see, success will get through this one. When they try to get success, then there is some ethical problems will be there. Okay, that's what. But it doesn't mean that if you follow the ethical route, you may not get success. Okay, you get success, but it may not be a shortcut method, or maybe it may take a time. Okay, yeah. Then what might lead to unethical behavior? Means what are the causes for this unethical behavior? Why people will go for this unethical behavior? First one is the ignorance. Many times we feel that, okay, why some professors don't teach ethics, because many times what happens, because earlier days and all, whenever we were a student and all, many times half of the class used to be taught by the faculties or teachers about the ethical practices and what is going on, so social evils, all those things they used to teach. Nowadays, because of the busy schedule or this one, many times many of the faculties they won't teach, but still many faculties are there. They will try to minimum 5 to 10 minutes they teach about these ethical practices. That is very very important, because only these ethical practices and all the students can get only during their college days. Okay, that in the classes and through the teachers only they can learn. Okay, these ethical practices. And many times ignorance happens, that is they are not qualified. Okay, by the time students go to college their character is already shaped. Okay, by the time they come to the college already they might have shaped, because they have gone to, that is a plastic stage, what we can say, because they cannot be changed. Okay, that conditions, maybe that is also because of this ignorance. Okay, then high expectations, many times what our expectations also very high. Because of that, some of the students or some of the people they will go for, to meet that requirement or to meet that expectations, we try to look into a unethical routes. That is, for example, sorry, we teach mathematics, but don't expect that students to be a mathematicians, because as a engineering mathematics we teach only whatever is required. But the mathematics professor, he is an expert, he is a stalwart in mathematics, but he should not feel that. Okay, he expect that he will become a big mathematicians. Okay, that way high expectations also they will lead into a unethical practices. We teach ethics to inform and not to make students ethicists. Okay, This is regarding ignorance. That is, example, students don't understand how to cite references properly. This is one of the examples. Because many times what happens, the students, when they do presentation or they do projects, okay, but they will not give the references, because whenever any material, if you take from the website or from the paper, that references you should give it at proper point, okay, that site references properly you have to do it. Then teachers don't pass on standards and rules, because many times what happens, whenever you use some of the things, that particular standards and rules, okay, sometimes some theory or something we are going to take, for that particular rules will be there and particular standards will be there, that has to be mentioned. Because what happens, whenever he is presenting any material or anything, from where he has taken, because it is not produced by him, okay, that's what, from where he has taken that particular standards, okay, he has to this one, he has to mention. Like you see, now he is presenting a motor study, motor or a transformer study, some particular this one, like a test certificate or maybe testing of transformers, some particular this one, okay. What is the standard and from where he has got, okay, like that. Many times we don't teach these standards and rules. That is also very very important for the students to cite those standards and rules. Running an experiment and using 96% of results, what do you do with the remaining 4%? Means like that, minor things we leave. And how much work must be quoted without citation to plagiarize? And this also will not be knowing. Okay. Forget to include a source or simply negligence. Many times what happens? Many times we take from the some website or this one, that because of the negligence or maybe because of the this one, we don't cite it or we don't mention that from where you have got that material. Okay, that is very very important. Okay. Then, policies and standards of the school or the institution should be taught to the students. And before going to do any research publications or maybe a research presentation, the policies and standards of the school or maybe the institutions, even for the faculties also, it should be given the this one. Okay, it should be taught. Means it should be informed to the faculties or students, because many times what happens, these what are all the results, means what are all the experiments you are conducting, it is a property of the school. Even though you are doing it, you are doing it at the particular university or school. Okay, when you carry out the results, when you carry out the work in the research lab of institution or maybe college, then that property will belongs to the institution. Okay, institute may be having some guidelines. Okay, because before publishing it into outside, you have to take a prior approval. Okay, for that, many times many of the universities and many of the institutes, they are not following this, but whereas in other foreign institutes and all, it is must. Even in a government organization like CPRI, okay, when we were publishing a paper or when we are going to present a paper, we have to take a prior approval, because for that one committee will be there, then they will go through that. Because many times what happens, some of the information, that is it should not be shareable, once it should be secret or maybe like that, for that some guidelines will be there, okay, that it has to be informed to the student or the faculties before publishing their work. Okay, then make sure that policies and standards are followed properly. Before it used to be monitoring, but now it is not enough since labs are growing. And many times what happens, results, because students or maybe faculties, they will be eager to publish whatever they get, some small results. What happens when they conduct some research work or this one, it may be a harm. Okay, what they do is in a hurry, they will try to publish. But what happens when it when it goes to, because it may not be, your research might not have completed. Even without completing, if you publish it into the outside, what happens, many people they may take that, and then they may try to work on that, and then they may get information, and then they may do it also. Okay, that way you have to be very, very careful when you are publishing the paper. Okay, then telling students where to go with ethical concerns and which team to talk means you have to tell the students whom to they have to contact in regarding the research, because it is not a cake for everybody. This doing research and all. Okay, many faculties they may not be good in this. Okay, that's what some research dean will be there, or maybe this research coordinator will be there. You have to, the students have to meet them, how to publish the paper, how to write the paper, where they have to get the information. These are all the things have to be taught to the students. Okay. Now, again, stress. Stress is a very, very important phenomena in research, because almost all the researchers they undergo this stress. Okay, that is what are all the this one. I must get the research grants. Okay, that is again the institute or college they will have that this one binding on the faculties. You must get some grant. Okay, for that you will be trying to do a lot of things, and that stress will create. I need to publish papers to meet the target set by the management or to get monetary benefits. Okay, this is also will be there. Okay, always they fix the papers. Many institutes they give incentives for the publishing the papers. Okay, and even for increment they link these papers. Okay, at least two papers you have to publish. That also in Scopus Index journals or Web of Science. Okay, that is the this one. Okay, for that also many people they will be under stress. Okay, then I must meet the deadline by the management. Okay, I must improve my profile to enhance the status in society, like that. So on, it will be there. Stress. With all these stress, what we do, we will forget many times these ethical practices. Then we go for unethical practices and then try to publish the papers and get all these to get rid of this stress. Many times it happens. Okay, then getting something done might seem more important than how to get it done. Okay, then we cannot remove stress, but we can teach people how to deal with it, because stress cannot be removed just like that, but we have to try to teach them how to listen. Stress on teaching the virtue of science to pursue knowledge. Talk about the outcome of forging data and future consequences. These things we can tell, because whenever they go for this one, under stress, they may go for some forging the data, or maybe somebody might have published the paper with that data itself. By manipulating, we use that, and then this we work out. Okay, like that. Many times we do that forging the data. That is unethical. This one. But later on, we will get into problem. For those things, we have to teach them. Okay, as a researcher, we have to tell them. Then patience and immediate result from them, because many times what happens, some of the test results or maybe some of the experiments they may not yield the results immediately. Okay, that's what we have to be in patience, because then we have to do the proper justice, and then patiently we have to watch and wait for the results. But what happens? We don't have patience because of the busy schedule and because of the target. What we do, some data, some experiments we conduct, and then we manipulate the data and then we publish. But for that we get stuck up. Okay, then teach students to talk to teachers. Protect the load of work. Okay. Design the experiment is not working. Okay. Design the experiment is not working, and that is leading to this data. Change the design means what it says. Actually, suppose when we are doing some experiment, many times what happens, the results may not come as you want, as you wish. Okay, in that case, the particular faculty or the mentor, he has to change the design. He has to do some modification and then try to do it. Okay, then you can ask the student to continue the experiment. Okay, like that, many things we have to work. Okay, instead of going for unethical practices, then ask for help when they need it and help them when they ask. Okay, when things are not clear anymore, step back and think objectively. Means many times what happens, we get stuck up because we may not get the required results, and then we will not be clear. Then again, what you have to do, you have to go back. Okay, step back and think objectively. Means you start thinking. Many times what happens, you have to come back and then start thinking why it is not happening. Then you have to do the repetitions like that. It is like a, yeah, iterative technique. We have to follow it up, because whenever the results are not coming, because at only once you may not get, especially in this research work. If you do a research work, because with one stretch you may not get the results. That's what happens many times. What happens, by doing one or two times, people will get stuck up and then they will get stressed. But they should not do it, because again they go back where they are going wrong. Okay, those things have to be, you have to check up and then you have to reveal, then you have to go back and where it is getting stuck, and then try to get the help from the others. Many times what happens doing this, we feel that if I ask some other person, he may steal the idea, or he may get the advantage out of this. Like that, we may not ask others. But wherever it is required, it is better to take a consultation from others also, who may give a good guidance. Okay, like that. Reduce the load of work. Always think, then who will blow the whistle? Okay, that is what to do when you see someone behaving unethically. Means many times what happens, people will be doing that, but who will be bringing up? Because many times what happens, some person is publishing the paper or doing the research unethically. But what happens? We just keep quiet. Okay, anyhow, let him do it. But what happens? It is a bad remark for him as well as for the institute. Okay, that what to do when you see someone behaving unethically. Then relationship with that person will change the way you deal with the situation. Okay, a fellow faculty or maybe a competitor. Okay, that's what. Because then, because he is doing unethical practices, then you have to teach him, or you have to tell him this. You may get into trouble later on. Okay, like that, we have to inform him, or maybe you have to bring it to the higher up, notices to the higher up, because again it is a reputation of the institutes and your fellow colleagues, all those things. Okay. Then students may mistakes. Okay, sometimes students will do that. Okay, they may copy the same data and then they give it in the project report. Many times we see that same thing, even without changing the font size, they will just copy whatever is taken from the website. They put it in the this one in their project, and then they will just give it. Okay, but that is a mistake. But we have to teach the students. Okay, uh, then you need to tell them that it is wrong to do it that way and direct them to do the right way. They can take the information. It doesn't mean that you should not take the information available in the website or from the paper. But what you have to do this one, you should not project it. It is done by you. You have to give a source of reference you have to give clearly. But again, many times what happens, students, they take that and they put it. That's all. They won't do anything. But by using that, Okay, what improvement you are doing, how you are utilizing that particular data, all those things have to come up. Otherwise, if you just give that particular information in your project or maybe in your report, because many times whenever I am seeing some of the project reports, especially btech and mtech projects, they do literature survey. Only they will mention this particular author, he has done this work, and another X author, then Y author, then Z author. Like that they do it. But why they are using that? But they are not interpreting what they have done, what are all the lacunas in that particular research work, how you are going to use in your research work. That you have to link, and then you have to clearly mention. Okay, but many times what happens, whatever he has done the data, then they will manipulate. He has got these results, I have got these results. But how you have got that results? What are all the base for that? Okay, that you have to provide clearly the information how you have got it done. Okay, those things also you have to teach the students. Okay. Witnessing misconduct. Make sure that there is abuse by documenting misconduct and try to get witnesses and facts. Then prepare a solid foundation. Then approaching the situation the right way. Means, can you explain those anomalies to me? Or how long have you been forging data? Okay, these are the things. This last sentence. Yeah. If the person denies misconduct, you need to go to higher levels. Okay. If he is not able to rectify himself or denies the misconduct, then you have to go to the higher ups and then inform. Because again, it is a reputation of the institutes or maybe the university. Okay, with that contention, you have to bring up to the higher ups. Then students must be taught to blow the whistle and report misconduct. Which team to talk to means where they get the proper information and where they get the information. All those things you have to guide the students. And then what are the policies and regulations? Then that also you have to teach to the students. What are all the policies of particular university? Okay, while publishing the paper or while presenting a paper, what is an approved procedure to report misconduct? Okay, that also you have to inform to the students. Then good research and ethical research. What is good research and ethical research? Because good research may not be a ethical research. Okay, that way, because always many times what happens, good research, maybe you may be bypassing some of the ethical practices. Okay, that will not be a ethical research. Okay, that is, good research is concerned with the integrity and the soundness of data. Whereas research ethic is concerned with the means of the data was collected, means how the data is collected and how it is going to be affected. Okay, that is what it is the ethical research. Okay, then research ethic is concerned with the well-being of others, like society, other peoples or animals. Because many times what happens, your research, you may find out some particular vaccine or something, that may be a good research you might have done. But in a ethical research, but it should not harm to the animal or maybe society or maybe other people. Even in our social research, something, if you find out something, that is some particular set of society, your research may be useful, but what happens, it may not be helpful for other group of people. Okay, that, of course, it may be a good research, but what happens, it is not fruitful because others will not get a benefit out of that. Okay, that is the difference between ethical research and the good research, because always we should give importance for the ethical research. Then issues in research ethics, conduct of individuals. Okay, conduct of individuals means individual persons, his behavior and then his uh, behavior with others, and then movement with others, how he is behaving with others and all. He may be a good research, but what happens, he may be firing the other subordinates, or maybe misbehaving with other fellow faculties, all those things, that will not be a good ethical research. Okay, that's what his conduct should be proper. And then research fraud, that is also very very important. Many times what happens, this used to be there even in organization like CPRI and all, because some particular person, he conduct the test and then he goes, okay, during night time somebody else will come and then he will just try to steal those things, okay, and take out the this one. I don't want to mention, because in other some other this one, I was a investigation officer also. In one of the case, what happened, that particular officer, he did a research work, and then what happens, he has brought some results, and then what happens during when he has gone on leave, some other faculty, some other person, he was also working in that, but not on the exact same work, and then he has taken the some informations. Okay, but they were all at the beginning, but they were research fellows, not the regular officers. Then finally, what happens? Another fellow, he has taken those results, but what he has done it in a different interpretation. He did, and then finally he published the paper. But when this person, he came back and then he did, by the time he has come to some conclusion, he has published the work, and then he got some very good recognition also. Okay, this type of things will happen. But what happens? It is a research fraud. But of course, he has, as per the outsider, he has done it. But ethically, you see, because he has done a good research, because as an outsider, he's for him, he has done a good research. But as an internal person, but is it ethical practice? Is it ethical research? No, it is not a ethical research, because the work was done by somebody else, and then other person, he is doing this one. Many times this happens even in the institutes also. But what happens? The one junior most fellow, he will be working on that. Okay, he will be doing all his research, but to get some benefit and all, no, top people, what they do, they will force him to put their names also. Okay, then that is also, it is a unethical practice. But for an outsider, it is not an unethical. It is a good research. But as an insider, again, you are forcing. Okay, because of the compulsions, many times we are forced to put the names. No, of course, if the contribution is there, and again the members, members on the that this one. Okay, that we will discuss later on. Okay, then mistreatment of animals or lab equipments. Many times we do that. Many times we use lab equipments in a different, because to get some particular results. Many times what happens, especially in case of electrical, this one, we do some short circuit test, all those things. Particular equipments and all, we may damage. Okay, and also sometimes we may have to test on some particular animals and all, no, that is also mistreatment of animals. Then accuracy and honesty in reporting the results, this is also very very important. Accuracy of the results. Many times what happens, some particular parameter, now for example, now the variation in some particular this one, oil samples, or maybe some in that whatever we test, Now suppose if you want to do a tan delta test of a transformer I, it will be about 0.002 is the tan delta value. Now if you represent instead of 0.002, if you give 1, okay, then there is a lot of difference. Accuracy. That's what accuracy always they mention is plus or minus some percentage, correct? Percentage. Even class 1 meter, what we say energy meters, we call it as a class 1 means it is having a plus or minus 1%. Okay, the value should lie between that. Now suppose if you want to read 100 units, it may read 99 or maybe 101. Okay, it is a class 1. Suppose if you give a plus or minus 10%, but that particular result supposed to be within 1%. If you go for some 10%, means what is the difference? It may read 90 or maybe 110. There is a lot of difference. That's what that particular value, the accuracy, the presenting accuracy, it should be within that particular limit. Many times, what we see, even when the students conduct the test, that short circuit test and open circuit test for the transformers, many times those students they will write the value, that is the copper loss or maybe voltage to that is 410.3333 like that. Okay, but there is no significance in that because what we need is 100%. If you consider, in that case you should report in only two decimal values. Okay, if you give three decimal values, there is no use. But many times what happens, we do, even if we are supposed to give in two decimal value, but we give without any decimal. That is also incorrect. Okay, that way accuracy and honesty in reporting the results. Honesty in the sense, because we are unable to get within that. Okay, error it should be in two decimal value. It is not coming in that two decimal. What we do, we report in instead of giving a decimal, we give in a full a normal value. Okay, but there it may be treated this side or maybe that side. Okay, that is what many times we miss in that presenting that particular data. Then plagiarism. Plagiarism is a major issue. Okay, whenever we write a paper, okay, because to get it published, especially in journals and all, they consider it 20% plagiarism, or maybe some journals they may consider up to 25%. Some places even 10% plagiarism they consider. Okay, plagiarism in the sense, because your report or your paper, how much similarity index is there, that is very very important, because you should not copy it. That is mainly why this plagiarism has come, because many people they take it straight away from the paper or maybe from the internet and then they use it. But of course, many times what happens, your writing way and their writing way also maybe same this one. Okay, but to avoid that, this plagiarism they have introduced, and then plagiarism also it will count. That is the 20 words or 20 word similarity or maybe 10 word similarity like that. Different plagiarism. This one tools they check different this one, like Turnitin. We can select that 20 words or maybe 10 words. That is, we can select that this one. And plagiarism again, there is a this one, that is self plagiarism also will be there many times. That's what generally they will allow 20% for plagiarism. This one, okay. Then violation of intellectual property rights, that is IPR. Okay, that is if you want to go for some patents or patent filings and all, you have to check that similarity index or maybe that novelty check. We have to do it. That before publishing a patent, you have to check the novelty. Novelty in the sense your idea whether anybody has published earlier. Okay, those things we have to do a lot of rigorous study. We have to do it. Then conflict of interest. that is researchers among each other or researcher and universities. Many times conflict of interest will come, because whenever you want to publish the paper or publish your work, there are maybe two or three researchers will be there. Then again that conflict will be there among the researchers, whether to publish in this particular journal or particular conferences we have to publish, or maybe the information, how much information we have to give it, okay, in the paper, how much information we have to publish. All those things, conflict of interest will be there. That is also a issue in research ethics. Then principle of the contribution to science as a whole, okay, that is also there, but not many people are considering these things. Check if a research is harmful to the society or to the individual. That is also very very important, because many times what happens doing the research, it may be harmful to the society. Okay, many times what we do actually, some work, if you especially what you can say, something on this uh, some renewable energy or some this one, what we do in that particular, some gases will be released, okay, some while doing the combustion or something, that is, we were doing some work on this particular tar combustion work we were carrying out in CPRI. Okay, when we were doing that, okay, there is some carbon monoxide was getting released. That carbon monoxide is a harmful gas to the human being. Okay, even though we are doing some particular research and publish the paper, but the thing is again that the outcome of that particular research, it is going to harmful to the society or maybe harmful to the individuals. This is also a issue in case of the research ethics. Then how universities should resolve their conflicts among themselves. Okay, yeah. Then helpful resources. Okay, what are all the helpful resources? That is some of the things. That is professional codes. Yeah, that is codes we have to use. Many times some professional codes will be there. That we will discuss later on. Statement of moral norms by members of a profession. That is American Psychological Association, American Historical Associations. Like that, so many. Even Indian, that is IPR Shell is there, and even Tata Institute, there is a IPR cell is there. There they will also help. Okay, then government regulations are there, like laws. Then religions, then cultural customs. So many things are available. Then ethical theories. Yeah, again, these ethical theories, there are four things. That is, one is consequential ethics, another is deontological ethics, that is, the action itself is right or wrong under a series of rules. Then casuistical ethics, that is a case-based method of reasoning. Then virtue ethics. These are the four ethical theories generally people will follow. We will just discuss one by one. Yeah, consequential ethics. The consequential ethics, that is, what are the possible harm that might result of an erroneous publications? Means by doing this particular publications, what are all the possible harms? That is consequences. What are all the consequences it may happen on the society? Because many times what happens, some particular publishing that particular this one, especially not in the research. For general, if you say something, somebody has published about the Muhammad Paigambar something, and then that all KG Haldi and that Galata has happened. No? Like that, some consequences may happen by publishing some particular this one, because these are all the consequential ethics. Then what response from me knowing that the results are wrong will result in more, more harm than good? Because many times what happens, some particular type of results, whatever results I am going to get, okay, that how much, because many times what happens, for every this one, for every research there will be pros and cons will be there. Some advantages will be there, some disadvantages also will be there. We cannot say that there will not be any disadvantage. For everything, merits and demerits will be there. In that, you have to calculate that how much merit is having more than demerits. Okay, that also you have to calculate. Then you have to do a study on that. Then then what harm might be done if the research results are not correct? If the results, many times what happens, if the results are not correct, you know, what harm? Because image may get damaged. Okay, means sometimes I have seen, I was reviewing one of the paper, in that case, in that paper, what they have done this. By increasing the, that is while testing the transformer oil. Okay, that is the gap they have to adjust. Okay, what that particular researcher presented, when increasing the gap, the voltage, that is the breakdown voltage, it should increase. But what happens, he has presented in a wrong way, it is decreasing like. But that what happens, it gives a bad impression. And then the same thing, because if he is a particular a good researcher, or maybe some this one, industry person, if we take it that, then based on that, if he design his transformer or maybe some other this one, it gives a wrong results. Okay, like that. Again, that what happens, if anybody is having that particular this one, he may put a case on that particular person, because you should not publish. It means once you publish, then you are liable for that. You have to depend that. You should not publish the wrong results. Okay, then it will be questioned. For that, you have to give a reason for that. Many times what happens, whatever you publish the data, based on that somebody has done some work, and then if it is some loss for the company has happened, okay, then he may be you are liable to compensate that. Okay, many times it happens like that. Okay, that's what, before publishing the paper or before publishing your results, okay, you must be ensured that it should not harm others. Okay, that, then what harm might I cause the that person if I bring the subject out? Okay, these are some of the, and what are the benefits of talking to that person first? Okay, like that. This one. What if that person used my approach to cover his or her track, and how each action will affect the person if he is innocent? Okay, these are the some of the consequential ethics. Consequential ethics means if you do some mistakes, because of that ethical misconduct, it will harm the others. Okay, other society will get harmed. Okay, these are the consequential ethics. Now, consequentialist research, that is focused on the results of the action. The, the proper course of action is determined with its likely consequences rather than its rightness or wrongness. Maybe you might be right, but what happens, because that rightness may not be understood by the particular person. Okay, it may be reflected in a different way. Okay, that may cause a consequences. Okay, these are all the consequential ethics. If they consider the welfare or the interests of others, then they are called utilitarianism. Means the end justifies the means, the greatest good for the greatest number. Okay. Then good before right. The end result is what matters. Okay. These are the some of the consequential ethics. Okay. What will contribute to this? Okay. Now, then act utilitarianism. That is, which of the available courses of action available to the actor are the most likely to produce the greatest good in the particular situation at hand. Then we focus on a specific actor addressing a concrete and specific situation. not on what would be the best course of action or someone on that situation. Okay, cumbersome and inefficient since we to consider every situation on its own despite similarities. Means these are all some of the examples what it is given in this. That is consequential ethics means what are all the your results you are this one producing or publishing. Because of that there may be lot of other consequential problems may be coming. Okay, yes. Then deontological ethics in this uh, do what it right. Okay, in contrast to consequentialist, deontologicalist find some acts wrong regardless of the results what they might achieve. Okay, do what is right determined by rules, laws, prohibitions, and norms regardless of the results. Okay, these are the ethics. Okay, deontology, what is right, will report research results even if that will result in not doing the good of human lives. Means that is deontology is that is will report the research results if that will result in not doing the good of human lives. Means it may not be useful for a human but still we try to publish that. Okay, that is how we will publish. We see that it is there as per the rules. As per the rules it is correct. As per the law it is correct. As per the prohibitions also it is correct. As per the norms given it is correct, but finally, what the result it may not be useful. Means it may not be good because lot of things have happened even much more than that. Because many times what happens already these laws and many things have come, but because of these old laws and all, but we are following that. But more than that, there are some results already it may not be useful. For example, you see whatever the study you carry out on it, this I will try to give an example like CFL. Okay, that is that is compact fluorescent lamp. It was earlier in 90s and all. CFLs used to be more famous because we used to compare with the incandescent bulb, and then we do a lot of research on this CFL, how we have to do it, because it was saving almost around 70 to 80% of energy saving. But now, if I do the same research by following all the what are all the this one, but will it be useful for the society? No, because this is a outdated technology, CFL. But now the new technology has come, like the LED lighting system has come, which is having better advantages and better this one. Okay, but even though you are following all the guidelines given by the research work or maybe the procedures given by this illumination standards, okay, I am following that, I am doing the work. But what is happen? But outside, anybody will use your research or your results? No, because already much ahead, the new technology has come. That is, LED technology has come. Even induction lighting technology has come, which are all better than your CFL. Okay, like that. Okay, then rule-based approaches assume there is one right solution for each ethical dilemma. Which set of rules to use? Because many times what happens for doing ethical practice, some particular set of rules we have to use. Then in that, which set of rules we have to use? Which rules take procedures over others? Okay. To be able to proceed, you must determine which set of rule apply to a particular situation. Because again, you have to see your situation and then which type of rules we have to apply when you do the research work. All those things, you know. Yeah. Deontology is criticized for its narrow application of norms without reference to their real life consequences. In this deontology, that is, it is a narrow, it is what happens, that is a narrow, it is having a narrow applications without seeing the broad applications. Okay, if failure to tell the whole truth has the same consequences as deliberately lying and is done with the same motivations, why should it not be judged to be equally unethical? Okay, similarly, because many times what happens, some applications, what we do is we take a particular application, that is it is having a narrow, okay, but some particular this one, that theory we cannot apply for the broader sense. Okay, then by doing some particular this one, because always sampling technique, they say sampling technique, they say that by doing this, by doing this study, it the results whatever it comes, it is applicable to all, like that we do for some particular this one, especially this energy meters testing and all, in a bulk, that is what we do is we take a some 10% sample. 10% samples, what we do, we pick up some 10% sample. For that, we conduct all tests. If all those 10 meters, this one, what is that, satisfies the conditions, the results, whatever the results of this one, then we will apply for all the this one. Okay, that is particular this one. But same may not be applicable to all. Okay, that's what many times what happens. Some this one, this dentology, this one ethics. That is, you cannot take only a sample, particular this one, because behavior of other component and all, it may be varying, because that particular sampling technique may not apply there. Okay, like that. Hmm? And even, you see, I thought I can share you an experiment experience with you people. This Descom, they were procuring this energy meters from a some particular company they have procured. Okay, that our engineer, that test engineer, he has to go and pick the samples. That is a 10% samples he has to pick. That 10 numbers of meters they have to this. But what they used to do, they used to give it only only those 10, some good ones, they used to select it and then stamp it and then put a label on that and then bring it to CPRI for testing. But what happened? Only all the meters they were getting passed, and then that lot used to get through. But what happened later on? One of our engineer, he started smelling that something is going wrong. Then what he did? Then he started visiting the factory to lift the samples, 10 samples. Then there he has gone. Then what they have this one? All the 10 meters they used to keep it on the top. Okay, then he has to pick, but what he did, he is a clever person, then he has taken from the bottom, in randomly he has taken that 10 samples. Then what happened, that 10 samples he used to lift and then give it to them for putting that label and then send it to us. But while sending that, they used to make a difference. But again, next time when he went, he has brought carried along with him and brought to the CPR and get it tested. This is what, okay? It again, it is a unethical practice. Okay, like that. Then again, my duty to tell the truth and my duty to avoid harming others might conflict. Many times this also will be there. Now suppose my colleague, okay, if he is doing some wrong things, okay, unethical practice, because of his livelihood, he may be doing it. But what happens if I want to become a good, then I should not inform. But if I don't inform, then it is unethical. Okay, then it will be under this conflict. Okay, then actual duty, what we ought to do in a particular situation, cannot be stated in the form of exceptionless rule. Okay. Then prima facie duty, then legally sufficient to establish a fact or a case unless disapproved. Okay, these are the things. Then what we ought to do if there are no intervening circumstances which may create a problem for the actor in complying with prima facie duties, can be started can be stated in the form of exceptionless rule, justice, and contribution. Okay, these are the some of the duty to tell the truth. Okay, then rights. Right of a human research subjects to be treated with respect. Okay, rights also we have treated to be able to accept or refuse to participate in a research. Okay, now suppose a management guy, if you want to do a research in data collection or maybe human this one, many times people will come for doing the some research in that whether to participate in or not. Okay, you have to give a proper data. Okay, that is whether I can share. It is whether is it affecting my right. Okay, that also we have to see. That is right of a human research subject to be treated with respect. Then to be able to accept or refuse to participate in that research. Okay, to be granted confidentiality. Many times what happens, they take a confidentiality report. Okay, they should not publish that particular if they are conducting some survey of some disease or something, in that case they have to try to keep it confidentiality. Okay, then authorship, ownership of intellectual property, and conflict of interest. Okay, these are all rights will come. Then legal and moral right. A college might have a moral right to be recognized as a contributor to a research publication, but not a legal right to be listed as a co-author. Okay, college, because since it is having a now suppose if it is sponsored by your college, all the research work, everything it is sponsored by, but college might give a moral this one to publish your paper, but they have a right. Okay, it is not as per the law. Okay, legally they cannot this one you cannot claim that yes I must be a co-author like that. Okay, then again it is a conflict. Okay, then rights alone are not enough to form a framework for ethics. They are important elements. Okay, assertion of the rights of one person will involve recognition of the rights of others. Okay, assertion of the rights of one person will involve recognition of other. This one. Then act deontologist, that is morality can be assessed within the context of a particular factual situation and not in accordance to the general rules. Yeah, then casuistical ethics, that is the case based. Okay, in this there are the rules and this one will change depending on the case to case basis. Okay, in this a case of intentional wrongdoing where the researcher deliberately published false information or for a personal gain. Okay, this is clearly unethical. Okay, intentional wrongdoing, particularly intentionally wrongdoing and then publishing and then giving the for getting the personal gain, it is unethical. In this case of negligent oversight, where the researcher did not check the results before submitting them to a publications, means sometimes because of the consequences or because of the some this one without knowing or without verifying the data, if we publish it, then it may not be ethical, but it can be excusable. Okay, that's what it is. This one, it may be excusable, but not even considered to be wrongdoing. Then he can tell it back. Okay, because of this oversight, this has published, then I am taking it back like that. Okay, then you may need to find more information about the motives before making any decisions. Okay, find more information. What the motives is going to come out by this research work. Okay, maybe sometimes others may get benefit out of that. Maybe others may get maybe a problematic for others. All those things, motives and all, you have to find out before publishing particular case. Then, comparing the current ethical situation to a similar one that is less problematic and easier to evaluate to help reach a decision. That is, practical set of procedure to resolve real life situations means that is a simulation what we carry out. Okay, it pays close attention to the specific details of moral cases and circumstances. It analyzes particular moral problems by analogy to prior paradigm cases rather than unique, isolated, or totally unprecedented instances. Okay, then cases begin by comparing the particular type of cases for their similarities and differences on a practical level. That is, from these comparisons, they develop a moral taxonomy or detailed and methodical map of significant likeness or differences. Then casuists then prove to reason by analogy from clear-cut cases where the resolution of a particular ethical issue is not controversial to cases that are more problematic. Means that is case-to-case basis. Maybe that's what I was telling. Okay, particular rules, whatever we develop, ethical rules for a particular case, may not be same similar to the other cases. Okay, that's what we may have to, our approach should be changed that, and then we have to modify our ethical practices. Okay, the practice of casuistry involves practical wisdom. Means here you have to see many times practicability. Okay, many times theory it is easy to define that. Okay, but practical solution, getting that practical solution is very difficult. Okay, then under what circumstances and what conditions the rules are relevant and should apply and how to apply them. Okay, then casuistry ethics. The particular the particularity or not fully developed resolution to ethical problem lead casuistry ethics to the possibility of not providing the level of certainty and universal applicability desirable in resolving more moral dilemmas in research ethics. Then the next fourth one is the virtue ethics. Okay, what is the person's moral character? That is an important thing. Virtue, by doing this particular research, what is the person's moral character? What happened about this particular person? Is this the first time that this happens with this particular person? Okay, then how likely is he to deal with this issue honestly? Okay, then is he going to take use of my goodwill approach to uncover the errors? Okay, these are all coming under this virtue ethics. Would uncovering the errors damage his reputation and character as a researcher? Then what are my motives behind uncovering those errors? Okay, do I hold a grudge against this person and I want to see him suffer even if his mistakes were not intentional? These are the virtue ethics. Okay, then virtue ethics, then focus on character or the moral quality of the actor rather than what those people did. Focuses on the moral character of the actors rather than the moral dilemma. Okay, these are the simple things I think you can just read. Some, yeah. Then focuses on the character or the moral quality of the actor rather than what those people did. Focuses on the moral character of the actor. Okay, Is an adequate habit of act morally and do what is right, involves skill that we cultivate in ourselves. These are some of the important virtue ethics. Okay, many professional code of conduct stress on honesty, integrity, and fair dealing. Okay, many professionals, that is code of conduct stress on honesty. Okay, to becoming honesty and to integrity and fair dealing. Many times this code of conducts and all will come into this. Then virtue ethics may be helpful in assessing any violations of established normal forms of members of a profession. Okay, determining what sanctions to be taken for reporting wrong data. Okay, was it done in on purpose? Okay, these are some of the things you can just read. We will just discuss some of the best. This one, that is basic ethical principles. That is the expression, that is basic ethical principles, refers to those general judgments. That is basic. This one is respect for persons. It is very important. The person should be treated as autonomous. Okay, because many times what happens, always we see that people, whatever he has done a research or this one, we see that know what he has done, and then we don't treat him. Yeah, I have done better than him. Like that, so many things we this one. But that is also unethical. Okay, and telling him all this. The person with diminished autonomy is entitled to protection. Means sometimes what happens, somebody is this one, some particular person is diminished, means in the sense if he is putting lot of other people, they may be targeting him and all. Okay, that is also unethical because we have to give a protection for him to do the research. Okay, many times what happens, some particular bosses will be there that they will be always commenting on that particular person. No, no, what research you are doing, you are not at all useful, you are useless, like that. But of course, that particular person, he may be requiring a particular guidance. But what happens, because of his boss egoism, he will try to depress that person and then keep him under this one. But that is also, if you do like that, that is also unethical practice. Okay, you have to give him a chance. You have to motivate him. You have to give. That is a ethical practice. Okay, you have to allow him. If he is doing a wrong thing, then you have to guide him. That is the ethical. Rather than depressing him and then always you are criticizing person and then criticizing him and then telling that no, 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 you cannot do like this. How you can do like that? That is again, it is a unethical practice. Okay, then who is an autonomous person can think and discuss his personal goals and act under those goals. Okay, protect those who cannot make their own self determination or they are not eligible for doing so. Actually, suppose a particular person, if he is unable to publish the paper or publish this one, that if you are this one, okay, you can help him. Okay, you can help him and then you can this one, because if you want to submit a proposal, project proposal or for funding, DST, then that DST particularly, that principal investigator must be a PhD holder. Now suppose if you are a research scholar or somebody who joined recently, he is having a better idea, he wants to submit a proposal. In that case, a person who is having a PhD and then who is having a same this one, same thinking level, and then you can try to help him. Means under your name, you can try to get a project, and then you can help him to do the research work. Then it is benefit for you as well as for him also. Okay, like that you have to protect and then you have to help the person. That is, it is a ethical. Okay, because you cannot say that it is unethical, because the person who is going to do a research, he is having an idea, knowledge, but what happens, he is not eligible to get that. For that, he is going to take a help from a other person who is having a better qualification and better this one. It doesn't mind. It doesn't mean that the principal investigator alone can do the work, because principal investigator will be the front face, okay, front person for the particular project, but he can get it done by other people. Okay, like that you have to try to help. That will not become an unethical practice. Then beneficiaries not only respect their decisions and protect them from harm, but also make an effort to secure their well being. Think of this as an obligation and not a charity. Do not harm and maximize possible benefits and minimize possible harms. Okay, justice. The right to be treated equally. Someone is defined benefits for no obvious reasons. The principle of fairness in distribution. Okay, these are all the basic ethical principles. Then, students' participation in the research. Okay, another 3 4 slides are there. I can discuss this. The question of whether and in what way students are allowed to participate in research. Okay, student participation can be included as a course component or for course credit, commonly included in psychology humanities department. Okay, then students agreement to participate in the research might be freely given because of a belief that doing so will put them in good favor with faculty. Okay, then however prohibiting students from participating in research will be an overprotective behavior, but you have to allow them and participate in the research work. A good approach is that faculty investigator prioritize for subjects generally rather than recruit students individually. Then students participating in research for credits should be given the fair alternative of either special projects, brief reports, or brief quizzes for extra readings. The papers and quizzes are not to be graded and confidential. Okay, that confidentiality, that is the mental health, sexual behavior, use of drugs. These things should not be published, and then there should be kept confidentiality of the students. Then employees participation. This is also important in the research. What are all the this one? That is similar to the student influence of powers. Okay. There should not be any influence of powers. Okay. Many times what happens, the head, especially head, they may instead. Okay, suppose if you are doing some particular, if it is a good research paper or something, they will insist. Okay, you have to put my name also. Many times what happens, these researchers also, they will try to please the boss, they will try to put their boss name. Okay, like that. On their own, if they want to put their name, and then if their contribution, if your guide safe or anything is there, it is good. But otherwise, for a compulsion, it should not be done. That is an unethical practice. Because I thought I can share with you. Because when I joined CPRI at the beginning, uh, I did some research work and some work along with a colleague, and then we had to publish that paper in that National Power System Conference, that is NPC at Kanpur IIT. Then I did a paper. Then finally, our joint director, he was there, and then he obviously we used to put his name also. But what he did, no, but the actually the first author will be the research work who has done. Okay, it has to, the credit has to be given. But always he used to insist to put his name first, means so that he can go and present, because generally in the government organization to take part, that is, I think I am talking during 90s and all. Okay, at that time, very this was, we have to take approval from ministry to go for conferences and all. But nowadays it is not so difficult. But at that time it used to be. Means that particular instructions to the researcher. This is unethical. And also that particular person who was having a papers in all the fields, and that is also it is not possible because a person can publish particular papers in particular areas only, but not in all. Okay, that way people also will judge. Okay, that's what you should not use the influence of power. Then options of free will because of concern, but grades, okay, job advancements in employees, okay, because if you try to give this one, papers and all, maybe if you are publishing more number of papers with putting the your higher up boss names and all, he may get pleased and then he may give additional increments also, because that is also unethical. Okay, then confidentiality. Okay, these are the risks. Then employees of biomedical companies are ideal subject for their research. Okay, these are the things. Then data collection. Okay, data collection is a crucial factor in reaching a conclusion. The importance of the tools or TCAP. Okay, identifying the relevant. There are so many things are there. In brief, I want to just tell this data collection is a very important aspects of the research, and that also it should be ethical way it should be collected. Okay, data collection and then data presentation. Okay, those things are any of these we will share with you, and then you can uh, read the this one. Uh, yeah, authorship. Okay, authorship primary way for the researcher to communicate their ideas. Credit for one effort and contribution is allocated. Okay, then already almost all the things I have covered. I think with this, yeah, this is some one of the plagiarism report. I thought I can share with you. That is a similarity index. You can see it is a 16%, but generally we follow that is, you can see here bottom exclude quotes. Okay, quotes have to be excluded. Okay, and then exclude bibliography, then exclude that is less than 20 words the similarity. Okay, this is, you can see this is 62%. In that 61% is internet source, means this is fully unethical, we can say. Okay, almost around more than 61% of the paper it is from the different sources. Okay, these are very okay. These are the references what I have used. With this, I thought I can take more time. I think you can ask any questions are there, or some particular topics we can discuss. I think okay, but it was a monotonous. I think okay, and
Sir, no questions, sir, from here.
hello,
Uh,
hello, yeah.
Sir, no questions from anybody, sir, now, till now.
No questions have come. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Uh,
Kurshid madam?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir,
yeah, yeah.
I, I take this opportunity to thank you, sir, on behalf of management, department.
Kurshid madam, video ಮಾಡು.
I take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of management, department, organizing committee, participant on my own behalf. Thank you, sir. The session was
Yeah.
nice, sir. The flow was very good. Beginning from the ethics in research as well as the issues which comes under ethics, and how the student or a researcher has to get involved in the research with the ethical values, and how they have to interact with their guides and take the feedback from them, It was really a very good session, sir. Later, you told that we should take the guidelines from the guide as well as we should follow the rules and regulations in order to have a good research output. I'm very thankful, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for giving an opportunity to share my experience. I don't know how much percentage of this presentation has gone to your this one usefulness, but anyhow, if you have anything, you can contact me also. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you once again
Thank
for
you.
the management. Okay, yeah,
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
yeah, okay,
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 sir. We'll end the session, sir.
yeah.
Okay, sir.